Brawlers, baby.
You're listening to the Brawlers Sports Boxing Show podcast, starring CEO Rick Muhammad and G Money. The Brawlers Sports Boxing Show podcast.
What's up, boxing fans? This is your boy Rick Muhammad, Brawler Sports Media in the building. This is the Brawler Sports Boxing Show, and my sidekick, none other than my man G Money. Boy, it's fight week. Oh my God! But we all know it's Fury Wilder trilogy this Saturday night in T-Mobile, Las Vegas. And man, the fans are gonna be in for a treat. But before we go there, G, let's talk about Usyk versus Anthony Joshua and how well he did in box. Everybody knew Usyk could box. Well, take that back. Not everybody. If you know boxing, you knew that he was a boxer, and Joshua obviously has problems with boxers, as he did with Andy Ruiz. And Usyk did a hell of a job. But I just think it's crazy how he's a light heavyweight, then he goes to cruiserweight, then he come up in your weight division as a heavyweight, and not only beat you, but took the majority of the belts. The only belt that's standing by now is the WBC belt that Wilder and Fury are fighting for.
Yeah.
What do you think about Usyk? I think Usyk, he got mad skills, but can he and will he last in that heavyweight division based off of a superb boxing clinic he displayed with Joshua? But styles make fights, and Joshua is not a Fury, he's not a Wilder, and he's not some of these other big guys out there, Joe Joyce and all those guys.
Yeah. Well, first I want to say I don't think Joshua's heart is in the game anymore. I don't think he has that hunger anymore. And I kind of feel like he's doing it because he feels obligated, because he has that big following in the UK. But when you see him in the ring, that hunger's not there anymore. And, he's made a ton of money. He's got a big name in the UK. I just think that he lost that drive, determination that he once had. I don't see that killer instinct in him. And then to Usyk's credit, he's just a fantastic boxer. He's got an amateur pedigree, Olympian. And yeah, for Usyk, you got to rate him top 2 cruiserweights of all time. I put him behind Evander Holyfield, and some could argue that he's number 1.
That's a good analogy, and like you said, he's not hungry anymore. He's made buku money. He's probably made more money in the heavyweight division than Lennox Lewis, Mike Tyson, Holyfield, and all of them combined. And I think it's more of a loyalty issue now because he's real close with his promoter, Eddie Hearn.
Yeah.
For the most part, though, when you're putting 67,000 asses in seats, those are NFL numbers.
Yeah.
That's Super Bowl material. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So you imagine the gate and the zone, all those subscriptions making money, the gate making money, the concessions. He's making money as if he was one big team.
Right.
And it's just an individual sport of boxing that he puts that many folks in seats.
Yeah, his career's not over. I'm just saying, speaking on him as a fighter, I don't see that hunger that fought Klitschko.
Yeah. And you know what? There will be a rematch. Why not put 67 more thousand asses in seats? And better yet, they'll just move it from Tottenham, wherever they had it, this past fight, and take it over to the Wimbledon Stadium and put 100,000 asses in seats. And in a 6-month period, they've made billions and billions of dollars. And he's with hundreds of millions.
Right. And to analyze the rematch, he's got to ask himself some tough questions because he can't beat Usyk the same way he fought Andy Ruiz in the rematch.
What's he going to do different? That's what he got to
So he outboxed Andy Ruiz. He can't do that with Usyk. You're not going to outbox him. So you got to go back to the walk him down, find that grit and that heart that you once had. That's the only way you're going to beat Usyk.
He's not going to walk him down if he can't take that ring away from him because Usyk's a boxer. He's going to find a way to get away from you and utilize the ring.
Well, he has to because he can't outbox
him. Yeah, well, it'd be interesting to see. So we're talking about Usyk and Anthony Joshua's last meeting and what could be next coming up probably in spring, probably be a rematch. They both done fighting for the year. That's done. They made enough money. And Joshua, he only fights maybe barely twice a year now. So, yeah, that fight probably won't transpire to late February, early March, early April. April-ish rematch with Usyk versus Joshua. But let's move on to what everybody is talking about. The most anticipated fight in the heavyweight division is for the WBC Heavyweight Crown, the belt that Fury took from my man Deontay Wilder in their rematch back in 2019. All the conspiracy theories and the 40-pound suit took away Wilder's legs. He was drained before the bell. Wilder's statements claiming that there was water poison in the water in his water bottle. The gloves was tampered with on Fury's side, but it's questionable because Wilder's face was pretty dismantled. And like I said, in the first meet, Fury didn't have that kind of power. Wilder didn't even get a bloody nose, but he dropped Fury twice. But Fury comes back in the rematch and basically demolishes him, destroys him, persecuted him live on pay-per-view TV. It's like, I mean, but I like the fans are saying to Fury, okay, prove it, prove us wrong. If you did it once, you could do it again. Prove us wrong and everybody else and knock him out in this third fight. If he gets smoked and Wilder cleans his ass up real nice, hey, now what?
That's a valid analogy of the situation. First off, I want to say before this, podcast, I was watching the rematch, and one thing Wilder cannot do in this third fight is he cannot fall for every feint that Fury does. Early on, that was the difference. Every time Fury feinted, Wilder bit for it, and then Fury unleashed on him. And basically, by him feinting like that, it just confused Wilder the whole fight, every second of every round. And another thing is, Fury's big body, he was leaning on Wilder the whole fight. He knew when to tie him up. He knew how to rough him up in that fight. And I just think his game plan, he just executed it. Now with the dent in his head, like we said, Fury wasn't a puncher. That's true. He's never been a puncher. So, that raises questions. But then, he is a 300-pound elite fighter. And, working with Emmanuel Stewart's nephew, Sugar Stewart, he had him turning over his punches. And watching that rematch, he really was throwing his punches different than he did in the first fight. In the first fight, he does what he always does. He boxes, so he's on his toes, so he's not really turning into his punches, but he sat down on his punches in the rematch and walked to him. And, Wilder, he can't let that happen this time. He can't let Fury back him up.
What does Wilder do in your mindset as being an analyst or critic in boxing, knowing boxing? What must Wilder do differently in this fight if he's going to win it? And we know he must knock him out. There will be no decision in his favor. He's got to get a KO. What does he have to do, G-Money?
Well, first, you can't let Fury back you up. He has to back Fury up. Mm-hmm. And then do what Fury does to you. Feint Fury. Feint him. Shoot your jab. And don't let Fury know that you're just looking for that right hand every second of the round.
Don't telegraph the right.
Don't telegraph it and, mix it up a little bit. Measure him, jab to the body.
Confuse him. If he set him up with jab, you never know. You think he come with the right hand and you feint, come back with the left hook.
Yeah.
Or hook off the jab, pop, pop, and then come with this.
And then another thing, I know he's targeting the body, which is good. Go to his body, but you got to be careful too, because that exposes you as well. And anytime you go to somebody's body, you're exposed for a counter shot. Yep. So I just want him to be careful and just, I'm hoping Malik Scott, come up with a good game plan for Wilder for this, but he can't let Fury back him up. He has to back Fury up, and he can't fall for the feints. The feints is what killed him in that rematch.
He's got to have a good contingency plan. And, we've posted, Brawlers, sports media have posted all of his content that he comes out with, his videos and his workout sessions that he's posted on Twitter, Instagram, wherever I got it from, that he shared with me. I shared with all of our viewers. He looks good. You know how they say somebody look good on paper, you're a millionaire on paper. You look clean, you look sharp on paper. But when it comes down to putting the money on the table, you just ain't got it.
Right.
So he looks good working the floor, hitting the mitts, hitting the bags. Haven't really seen him do any sparring. Like my man Bruce Lee said, boards don't hit back. So we don't know what that's going to entail when the bell rings and somebody is mixing it up with you with no 16, 18-ounce gloves, headgear, cup, none of that. That's out the window. Everything else he's done on the floor, the shadow boxing, working the mitts, counter punching, slipping, he's rolling underneath, catching and shooting. I've never seen him do that in a fight, and I've never seen him do that in any of his training camps. And I was at his training camp when he fought the first Ortiz fight. Never saw that type of movement or that type of mitt work, if you will.
Can I be honest though? I don't. It looks good. You know, that's the mitt work of a welterweight. You know, combinations, but I just honestly can't see him doing that in this fight.
Can he start off like that and backslide into bad habits, or you don't think he can display what he's supposedly been taught during this training camp? Because supposedly they've gone back to the basics, which we all know he mostly lacked a lot of basic boxing fundamental skills, which is what they've been working on too, which appeared to look, like I say, he looks good.
Mm-hmm. I just think throwing combinations in the heavyweight division it's just something you don't see. And just knowing Wilder, I just don't see that happening. And I'm not sure if that's even the best game plan to have. You know what I mean?
For the one-hitter quitter, he's still going to just depend. Well, he has to depend on his God-given freedom.
Right, and that'll come. And I'm not saying just look for the right hand, but throwing these 5-6 punch combinations, I just don't see that happening. Will he do it? Look, I hope that Wilder goes in there and destroys him quick or makes it easy. But one thing I do know is it's not going to be easy, because I know Fury's temperament and his mentality is he's not going to lay down. So if Wilder's going to have to get him out of there, he's going to have to knock him out. And he's out. The ref waves it off and he knocks him out cold like he can do.
How do you see this fight ending for either fighter? When I say ending, speaking of rounds, does this fight go to distance? Will there be a knockout for Fury? Will there be a knockout for Wilder? Both are possible. Will it be a draw? We leaning towards. I think if Wilder's going to win it, to me, I feel like he has to get a knockout and definitely go for the knockout. And he needs to let that be known, like in the first 4 rounds, that I'm coming for my strap and I'm also coming for your ass.
Yeah, I thought it would be a knockout, but I think it depends on what Fury shows up. Maybe Fury wants to box him again this fight, and if that's the case, it could go the distance, But I don't think it'll be an early night, no matter what, because Wilder's shown that he can take it from Fury. He didn't get knocked out. His corner stopped the fight, but he was on his feet and he was taking it. And Fury's shown that he can get up. So I don't think it'll be.
What's his word in the second fight that Wilder was speaking of that made him lose all of his entire mobility? I mean, a man who has nothing to fall back on. That's just almost impossible, unbelievable. But be that as it may, none of us were in the corner or the locker rooms of either fighter, Wilder or Fury, particularly Fury with the tampering of the gloves. As it's been stated, we don't know. Right. But something did look a little suspicious, how he was just like super extra strong, powerful in that rematch.
Man, I just can't wait for this fight, because no matter what people say about Deontay Wilder, he's an all-time great in the heavyweight division. I don't care whether you like it or not, easily all-time great.
Like him or love him, like they did Floyd. You gotta love Deontay. D. My man D gonna come out and make a statement. And when he say he go out on the shield, he mean that from
he means it. He means it. And not only that, Deontay Wilder is a great person outside of the ring. I love
boxing. He's good for boxing, man.
I love everything he stands for outside the ring. And like I said, inside the ring, in my opinion, one of the best heavyweight fighters of all time, by far the most devastating one-punch KO knockout artist in heavyweight division ever, in my opinion. Yeah. Some people might say, George Foreman or Ernie Shavers, big hitters, but Wilder, man, that equalizer is different in that right hand.
Well, today started the festivities in Vegas. Today was the arrival of both fighters. Wilder is scheduled to appear first at 5 p.m. MGM, I believe, and then Fury at 5:30. If anybody watching this show and you live in the Las Vegas area, that's when you want to catch them making their grand entrance in the main lobby, where they have the ring up and the lions in the corner at the MGM, 5 o'clock for Wilder, 5:30 for Fury. Tomorrow, unfortunately, is the final press conference of the main event, Wilder Fury. Just them two. They will not have anything open and available to the public, as I've been instructed, which is usually they like to pack the stadium for that, just to get all that hype and adrenaline. People who haven't bought tickets yet will run and buy tickets after they get their hype going on at the weigh-in and at the press conference. So that's tomorrow for Wilder. Thursday is the undercard press conference. Friday, I believe at 2 p.m. is where they're conducting the final weigh-in for everybody. And again, that's not even available to the public, which is weird because, you know, it's a top-ranked card, and it's on ESPN Plus, their pay-per-view version of ESPN. And I don't know. A lot of fans are hyped, and I'm sure a lot of fans would have loved to be at the press conference as well as the weigh-in, like it's been in the past. But neither here nor there. I've shared with you guys the schedule of events. And, of course, Saturday night, main event, T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, which is October 9th, 2021. Brawler Sports Media will be somewhere in the house starting tomorrow morning. As I do with you guys, I always let you be right there on my hip. As soon as I get in and check in my room, my hotel, I'm headed over to the events, see what kind of interviews I can get. There's a lot of celebrity, current and former world champions to be walking around. So it's going to be a big weekend in boxing. Actually, a big week for boxing in Las Vegas starting today with all the hoopla that's going on. It's going to be a big event. Most anticipated fight of the year. Everybody's tired of the postponement, COVID, if you will. Fury, I believe, caught COVID. That had to be postponed. Initially, it was the 24th, 26th of July, something like that. So everybody's like really on the edge of their seat for this fight, man.
Yeah, for sure. It's a lot of
have like some super fandemanium. It's gonna be like bananas.
What were the what's the boxing headlines for October 10th?
Boxing headlines for October 10th. And new two-time heavyweight champion of the world, WBC world champion, Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder, Bomb Squad. That's what it's gonna be, baby. Let's go, champ. Let's go, champ.
It's time.
That's what it's gonna be, in my opinion. Everybody's got their own opinion, but that's my heart. That's how I feel. That's what I want. That's what I'm hearing. That's what it shall be. Like Deontay said, if you speak it and you receive it, you shall have it. You can get it, baby. Let's do it.
I'm gonna tell you on that. I got Wilder. He's gonna find a way and get the KO. Let's get it.
Let's go, champ. All right, we offered Wilder and Fury. That's the most anticipated fight. We had to spend more time on that, guys. I know everybody out there is itching for this fight. You have your own opinions, and it's going to get better and better as the week goes, as far as the Facebook and Twitter's going and Instagram. Moving right along, we got coming up after that is Herring and Shakir Stevenson, another top-ranked show at the State Farm Arena in Atlanta. When is that fight? November
23rd.
November 23rd. As we already discussed this, but we'll touch on it again because it's still popular and it's up and coming. It's closing out the year for the sport of boxing since COVID and all this has taken over and killed everything, and we're back. I say, Herring's gonna come in, he's gonna show up. He's a champion, people's champion, fight from the heart. But I think Shakir is the youth, the up and coming, and the better boxing skills, if you will. I just feel like Shakir edges Herring in this fight for the W.
Yeah, I think you'll get a wide unanimous decision. Jamel Herring, he's shown to be quality as a champion his past couple of fights, but Shakur is just on a different level. So I got him winning a 12-round unanimous decision, and it'll be clear and clean.
Clear and clean. All right, and that's coming up November 23rd. So now let's talk about 3 days before that fight. November 20th, we got Terrence Bud Crawford and Showtime Sean Porter. I've been reading a lot of different things, and that fight is also in Mandalay Bay in Las Vegas, guys. If you haven't never been to the Mandalay Bay and you're thinking about going to that fight, you should go. It's a great venue, and every seat in the house is decent. There's no such thing. Their nosebleed isn't half of a nosebleed I've seen. If you ever been to MSG, Madison Square Garden, that's a nosebleed. Mandalay Bay is a perfect time to experience your first fight if you've never been to one because the seating is awesome. But let me just say this. I've been reading some things about this fight. A lot of folks think Bud Crawford is going to make Showtime Sean Porter look like an average, mediocre Joe fighter, if you will. And a lot of people who are big-time Showtime fans thinking that, Sean is no pushover. He definitely comes game to fight in shape and can create and cause a lot of problems. But styles make fights. And never fought anybody caliber of Terrence Bud Crawford. So a lot of people feel like Porter has a hell of a chance of exposing Bud. But I don't see it like that. I'm going with what I stated if they ever fight, and I'm going to stick to it. And I got Bud Crawford in that fight. High boxing IQ, definitely boxing skills. His skill set is off the chart. He can fight your southpaw all night, and his strong hand is his right hand. He's a conventional fighter. He can do it all. So, hands down, I'm going to roll with my man Bud, but I got a lot of love and respect for my man Showtime Sean Porter. What's your take?
Yeah, Sean Porter, he always comes to fight. He gives it his all. He's tough. He trains hard. It's going to be a really good fight. But like you said, man, I just think Bud, he's going to figure him out early. And I don't think Sean Porter's going to get close to him like he does everybody else. Crawford's good at his distance, keeping the distance. And he's good at pivoting, and turning fighters. If you go back and look at Terrence Crawford versus Ray Beltran, when he was at 135, Ray Beltran, come forward fighter, and Crawford just outboxed him easy, never let him get close to him, use his legs, his distance.
Step around.
Yeah, even Felix Diaz, the Olympian, same thing, Crawford knows how to use his distance well, and just stylistically, I don't think this fight suits Sean Porter well. And I'm still going with Terrence getting a late stoppage. That's how I feel. I think it'll be tough, the first 3 rounds.
About maybe between 9 and 11 or 8 and 10.
I say 8 through 12.
Okay.
Anything after the 8th, and it could come before that. But just knowing how tough Sean is and the conditioning and the cardio he has, and he's a true welterweight too, a full sturdy welterweight. So I think, so it's going to be hard, to the first few rounds. He's going to bring it, but I think Crawford is going to be beating him, and then Sean's going to walk into something.
And that's usually that's how the tale of the tape ends. Pretty much, you make whoever makes the mistakes, those are the ones that are going to pay for them.
Mm-hmm.
And Bud is real slick about luring you in.
Yeah,
make you. That's why he gives you so many angles. He wants you to feel that you see something that could be potentially a big gain for you, or maybe a stoppage for you. And as soon as you try to go for it, he change up on you.
Not only that, everybody, like you said, people think this is the fight that he could lose. A lot of people are picking Sean Porter.
Yeah.
And knowing the kind of person and fighter Bud is, he's like, he reminds me of Floyd with the same mentality. Like, they feel they can't be beat, and he's very competitive. So he wants to prove to the world November 20th who he's about. And I think he's going to do it.
Brawlers Sports Media will be in the building for that as well. Now let's move on. My prediction is Bud. Your prediction is Bud. We've already stated that. Let's move on now. Will we see Canelo versus Plant? Or is this fight going to get shot down in the water simply because Canelo has turned down a 10-week testing process with VADA, and he says he's not doing it? And if I'm Plant's people, I'm not going to say, okay, forget it. He ain't got to do it because I want my 15 or 20 million, whatever he's getting somewhere along those numbers. I'm not going to do that and give up my O just to collect that check. I'm going to make you test because it's obviously that you tested positive, and this needs to be addressed, and boxing needs to get a handle on this. So if I'm Plant's team, I stick to my guns and say, no test, no fight.
Oh, yeah, I totally agree. And why wouldn't Canelo, why does it matter? He should be like, I'm willing to test year round if that's what it takes or if that's what I need to do. What is there to hide? Why do you care if it's 12 weeks, 14 weeks? What's the problem?
And for the boxing fans who don't understand that, VADA, WILDER is the ones who discipline and real strict about fighters putting in illegal substances in their body for cheating. Hence, 10 weeks. The entire 10 weeks, it could be random testing. 1, urine, 2, blood. And they could pop up at either camp. They could pop up at Porter. They could pop up at Plant, or they could pop up at Canelo's camp and say, hey, all right, guys, we're with WILDER, and we're going to piss everybody.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to take blood from everybody.
Yeah, it may be inconvenient to fighters. You know, they're like, oh, here they come. But if you're a clean fighter, you're willing to do it.
But it's unannounced. Just
unannounced. Yeah, unannounced.
Unannounced test. You just never know when they're going to pop up in your gym. It's just like when they walk in, you'll be like, oh, shit. If you're hot, you're hot. Forget about it. That will cancel the fight as well. But for some reason, I don't think we're going to have that fight unless Canelo agreed to the terms of WILDER testing. Simple as that. And Plant got to stand his grounds if he wants to be treated fairly and for it to be a fair fight. Or
I think it's still
you're going to be fighting Superman in the ring.
No, I think it's still going on. I'm not even sure if that was for this camp or if that was for the September date.
Now, well, I mean, even though the September date got canceled, initially you asked for it because you suspect something.
Yeah, so either way, you should get it.
Still say that still stands.
Right, I agree. I wouldn't fight him if he refused it because that tells me that there's something to hide.
That's something to hide. That's what a lot of fans are saying, you know, F Canelo, screw Canelo. Oh man, if you are really like this, I'm not a fan anymore. I'm not gonna follow you anymore. Whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop.
Yeah.
But what is he hiding? For him to say no, then you should probably stop following him now because he's making it abundantly clear. I'm not testing because I know I'm hot. I mean, I'm eating a lot of this tainted meat.
Basically.
And that's how the fans are really perceiving him and clowning.
Well, that's how it looks. If you refuse the testing and say no, I'm not doing it, why wouldn't you? So yeah, it looks that way. Exactly.
So that's that. What else we got? We got our retirees, the seniors fights. Everybody's coming out of retirement. Mike Tyson and Roy Jones started some. Holyfield came back. That wasn't a good look. Now we got James Lights Out Tony, who's coming out of retirement, versus Jeremy Williams, Celebrity Championship Boxing, promoted by my man Zab Super Judah out of Brooklyn. Brooklyn in the house. Stand up, baby. What up, Zab? That's going to be a big event in the Virgin Islands, St. Thomas. That is October 23rd on the beach. And, got a lot of activity going on. They got Young Jock going to be there. A lot of celebrity NFL former world champions are going to be there. Brawlers Sports Media. That's right. Brawlers Sports Media will be there. I'll make sure I have a different pair of swimming trunks on every day when I'm filming or something. But yeah, what do you think about that? I mean, that's just like a little for fun talk. Like, nothing to really write home about here.
Right, but I'm always go with James Toney. I mean, he's in my Mount Rushmore of boxing, all time, top 5 for me.
Said that in previous shows.
Yeah, so James Toney, he's my top 5, so I'm always rock with Tony.
Tony fan. What's up, Detroit? That's what I always tell them.
I want people, if you want to see a boxing clinic, go watch James Toney versus Iran Barkley. Flawless.
Yeah, that was a good fight.
Yeah.
James Toney's another guy that came up from middleweight, natural middleweight, fought light heavyweight. Did he go to cruise or did he just went straight to heavyweight?
Oh, that I don't know. I want to just say heavyweight because I remember him fighting the heavyweights: Holyfield, Samuel Peter, John Ruiz.
Johnny Ruiz. Yeah. I was at that fight when he fought and beat Johnny Ruiz and took his scrap at Madison Square Garden. I was at that fight.
Yeah.
So yeah, James Lights Out Tony, gifted, talented, definitely a legend, Hall of Famer, no doubt. Can't take nothing from him. If you could go see the rest of our legends, Holyfield and Mike Tyson and Roy Jones Jr., what the hell? Why not? Let's support my man James Lights Out on October 23rd, St. Thomas, Virgin Islands.
For sure. Yeah.
What else we got after that? Oh yeah. So now let's go back to the heavyweight, the Usyk Joshua real quick. I just want to touch on how does he fare now versus the winner of Fury Wilder. Either one of those guys, how do you see Usyk fighting for that strap to unify?
Either one of those guys beats Usyk, in my opinion. I think so.
He beats either Fury or Wilder.
No, I think Wilder or Fury beats Usyk.
Beat Usyk. They too big, seems
Too
like.
big.
You know? And they're bigger than Joshua. You know, a lot of people wanted to see the Wilder Joshua fight. I bet Wilder wishes he took that fight on a lot of occasions for whatever money they offered him, just to have that one on the resume. You know what I mean?
And the difference is this: those two fighters, Fury and Deontay, they got a big heart inside the ring.
Yeah.
You know, so if it gets tough, they're gonna go get it. Both of them.
They're gonna go get it, or they're gonna get carried out. Based on deep, going out on his shield. He's like, hey, don't stop me. Let me be in control of my own destiny.
Yeah. But I think Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder, I think they both beat Usyk. You know, I think Wilder, I think he'll stop Usyk. He's too long. Too long.
Let's go back to the welterweights real quick. So we got Bud, we got Crawford, the winner of that. Let's say Bud wins. Now we got Spence. Spence is gonna come out whenever he recuperates, and he's gonna go after Ugas, of course, before he fights Bud, so he can have those straps. And then are we gonna see a Spence versus Bud for the pop?
You know, I feel like that fight is
fight for it if you're not gonna get a shot at Spence for it all.
Yeah, I think Errol and Bud, I think that fight it's not what it was. They're the same story as the Mayweather Pacquiao situation.
5 years down the road, and then,
you know, they should have fought a year ago. What was it, 2 years ago?
I think the momentum is still there though, G. If they come out in 2022, like this time next year, before we end 2022, let that be the big mega fight to close the year out.
But my question is Errol Spence the same fighter since the accident? No, he fought Danny Garcia great. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying, you know, with the eye injury, could that be from the accident, from the scar tissue? You know, is his body the same? You know,
his body like dismantled up.
Yeah, not taking nothing away from him. He's a great fighter. I'm just I don't know.
He had the retina issue. And then Danny wasn't gonna bring no smoke on him like anybody else. Ugas would definitely be a challenge because Ugas fought Manny Pacquiao superb.
Yeah. No, Ugas is a tough fight but I think Terrence and Errol both beat Ugas, both of them, convincingly. I think so.
Yeah,
he has a awkward style to me, and I just think that
both of those are possible stoppages from Errol and Terrence.
I agree. I think so too.
All right. Anything else we missed? Anything upcoming? Anything out there in the balance that needs to be addressed?
No, we touched on everything, but this weekend is the fight that I've been waiting for this whole year.
Mania, Fandomania, and Fury Wilder 3 is finally here. Let the countdown begin, and today is the 5th. We got 3 days on a wake up.
Hey, but don't get too excited. I won't believe it's happening until they're walking into the ring.
Man, it's gonna be so. Let me tell you something. I've been to T-Mobile for Manny Pacquiao, nice arena. It's gonna be so electrifying for this fight because it's the big boys, the big boys.
Bad blood.
It's gonna be bananas in T-Mobile and Vegas. Period. The books. Oh, for people who are interested in betting, right now Wilder is still a plus 250 to win it, and Fury is a minus what? 700 minus something.
No, minus 300. Minus
300 and a plus 250 for Wilder. And of course, if you pick Wilder by stoppage, I think
plus 300.
That's it? I thought I saw something different.
I see plus 300 for stoppage for Wilder.
Knockout? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So there you have it. You still can bet online, bet MGM, whatever you guys use, whatever. Hey, I want to for that plug, bet MGM, send me a check. But yeah, the betting is on. Like when I get there, I'm gonna drop it like it's hot, and see if my man D, I'm betting my mortgage, man. Please don't worry, man. Put some kibbles and bits in my pocket, baby. And new. and the new. That's where I see it. But hey, we shall see on Saturday night. But like I said, I'll give you guys as much footage as I can. Whatever interviews I can come across, y'all know I got y'all. Hey, so all you gotta do when you see me go live, support me. Hit the like button. I need you guys to like. If you're on there viewing it, hit the damn like button. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please go and do so. It's Brawlers Sports Media. Hit like, hit subscribe, set that alarm. So whenever I post new content, you get that alarm pop up for your YouTube alarm, and then you can follow along. So definitely do that for me. Also, check out the website. I have the damn it, I ain't got my mask, but I got the official Wilder Fury 3 face mask, collectible. You're not gonna buy it in the store. You're not gonna find it at the fight. It's $20, and that comes with free shipping. So get at me. You can go to my website, www.brawlersports.com. Check me out, baby. And that's it for now, G. Unless you got anything else, we're going to wrap this thing up and get out of here, man.
That's it. Let's go, Deontay.
Let's go.
Get that W.
The next time, y'all, I'm Rick Mohammed, Brawler Sports Media. This is the Brawler Sports Boxing Show. My main man, my sidekick, my son, G Money in the building. Until next time, y'all already know what I'm going to say. What I'm going to say, G.
Let's go, champ.
Let's go, champs. Wake up, G Money. All right, baby. Till next time, y'all. Let's go, champ.
Brawlers, baby.